was Friday night that Donald Trump fired the archivist of the United States.
Oh, not the archivist.
Well, you say that and with a sense of mockery, but
No,
the reality is...
it reminds me of the documents case. Does one thing have anything to
Thank
do with
you.
the other? Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
The story didn't even move the meter. I didn't see it reported anywhere. And I was reading a blog, I guess, or post from somebody who works at the National Archives. I think doesn't work there anymore, but now posts this, so felt safe enough to post it. And they were talking about the fact that the National Archives is an important agency, and it's pretty big. I mean, I know it's just now come into the news cycle because of the documents cases Kim is talking about. But it holds billions of pages of government records, and for research, journalism, government transparency, all of that stuff sits there at the National Archives. And so it's a crucial part of holding government to account, right? When you get the Freedom of Information Act, it's supposed to now, they sometimes make you wait for a long time, but you can, where do you think that information is being stored? There, in the National Archives. So the archivist of the U.S. is a significant person in government. And of course, the archivist of the U.S. was in the middle of that whole thing with Trump, who jacked all of those documents, took them to Mar-a-Lago, kept them in bathrooms, ballrooms, the office, the closet, the bedroom. So the other thing that the office of the archivist does is administer to what? The Electoral College. They provide instructions on how to carry out Electoral College voting, to transmit the electors' votes. This all comes through the archives. And the Code of Federal Regulations, I'm just looking that's the official document that has all the regulations on all the federal agencies, the Federal Register, which is where the government gives notice of presidential actions, public meetings, any proposed changes to federal regulations. This is all there at the National Archives, and it's there before the public comment period on a lot of this stuff that has to do with proposed changes in federal regulations. So there's an important step that is oftentimes overlooked. They're responsible for administering the constitutional amendment process. Any proposed amendment from Congress would be transmitted to the states with various instructions. All of these rule-making posts, the destruction of federal records is a crime. And that's a crime stated by the National Archivist and the National Archives. They house the personnel records for the federal government. This is where all the personnel files of all federal employees are transferred after they separate from the government. Agencies have been told to make lists of employees engaged in certain jobs for the White House. So any federal worker who's ever left the government before today has to file with the National Archives. So this is an important place and part of very important processes. So when you talk about interfering with the Electoral College vote, wiping out government regulations, changing the Constitution, destroying or illegally retaining government records, all of those things are involved with the National Archives. So no archivist in the history of this country has ever been fired by a president. In almost 100 years since they created this position, the National Archivist has never been fired by a president until...
Because it's not a political position.
Thank you. It's an apolitical position.
Yeah.
Even when the office holder was appointed by the previous president, the office holder stays on. So defending the National Archives and the staff of the National Archives should be a priority. But I feel it has slipped away as a priority, primarily because, as I say, it didn't make the news cycle. But that is something I wanted to mention to you because to me, it is part of the 5-alarm fire that is government right now.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell, you'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.